Okay, right, so let's get some names. What's your name?
Brian Weir.
Brian, can I call you Brian, is that all right?
Yeah, that's absolutely
Or
fine.
Mr. Weir?
No, Brian to be.
Brian, better, okay, yeah. I'll just give you a round of applause. And who we got over here?
Ella.
Ella, welcome.
Laura.
Laura and
Andrew.
Andrew, and have we got someone, have we got another person over here? Come and get involved in this. And maybe some people upstairs come down and come and get involved in the conversation. And what the whole point of Talkaoke is up to you to decide what you want to talk about. So has anyone got any thoughts? Yeah?
Get the youth into, I volunteer for the Aberfeldy Boxing Club.
Yeah.
Youth off the streets.
Yeah.
And basically into boxing and doing something active for their lives rather than causing mischief.
Why are you doing that, Brian?
Well, growing up around Abbeville, ran it for 33 years.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of crazy stuff happening, and it'd just be good for. There's not a lot of community things going on.
You know what? You were here. I was chatting to you. You went off for like 2 seconds, and then these 3 young people turned up, and they're actually sort of like wearing, I don't know, they were wearing a lot of stuff concealing their face. Yeah. But, you know, they were actually sweet kids, and they just wanted to come and do boxing, but then they disappeared again. But I did tell them just to hang around for a second. We've got a very, very tall person over there. Come and get involved in Talkaoke if you want to. I'm not quite sure how you're going to sit around the table or whether the mic is long enough. Hello? Okay, right, so Brian's doing some great stuff over there. We've got a new face over here. What's your name?
I'm Margot.
And did we come over to you, Andrew? We did. And who have we got over here?
Roy.
Roy, and Roy's been very generous and got some drinks. So if anyone wants a drink,
Coke or Foster's?
Coke or Foster's, that's your choice. Yeah.
Did you get it in Cockfosters?
No, it comes from Aberfeldy. So we're talking. I think it's a good start from Brian. Anyone got any response, any reaction to that? What Brian's doing? Any thoughts about that?
Is boxing dangerous?
Is boxing dangerous?
Because I know, I mean, like you're doing training and getting people off the street, but do people go quite hard?
Is it out of the frying pan into the fire?
Well, no. Boxing is dangerous to start off with.
Yeah.
Any contact sport is dangerous. But when you start off at a young age, you're sparring. Now, sparring is not meant to be hard. People do go hard. It's not meant to be hard. So you're taught, when you're sparring, you're taught to basically just touch each other. You're learning. It's all about learning the craft. And you're not meant to be in there try and take someone's head off. You go in there try and take someone's head off, you're not learning nothing. You see, all you're learning is I don't want to get back in there with that guy again because he's going to hurt me.
Right.
So it's all about basically, especially this club, it's a family club. You come here, no matter what age you are, you're welcomed, and you learn, you grow together, and it's just a positive vibe. So the answer to your question is boxing is dangerous when you're at higher levels, or amateur level, because you can. I mean, one punch can potentially change someone's life. Yeah. But there's a lot of great positive aspects towards boxing. For example, mental health and fitness and loads of good aspects. For myself, I got involved in it because of mental health issues. It's changed my life completely. So but it is dangerous, but there's a lot of many positive
aspects. And is that Brian? Are you looking for somewhere? No? Okay. Are you looking for somewhere to go boxing? Because that's what we're talking about here. Is boxing dangerous? Yes, it is, but maybe in a country. Anyone else done any boxing around the table? No. Margot?
I have done boxing over there, but one thing I wanted to pick on is that I never considered, it just sounded so unexpected to hear this is a family business. Right, because usually you hear us, there's a bakery, there's a family business since 1621 or something like that. That'll be quite fun, but but you never hear of boxing, But that's quite a specific niche thing for family business too. So does it mean I don't know, the mothers of the family have done it for generations, or is it mostly fathers? Is it a boy thing? I don't know.
Who is the
more the family unit, I suppose. It's a very much family unit sort of place to be. You're welcome. As soon as you come in there, you're one big family. No matter what level you are, no matter if you've never boxed before or you're an extremely good boxer, you're just welcome in. And especially this one, it's sort of Kirk is involved, and he's got his children there and his daughters and so it's a very much family club. And then when you're brought into that family.
So you're part of really Kirk's family. You probably don't know who Kirk is, but Kirk. He's like the main man of the boxing club. Yeah.
Has Kirk got something to do with the Kirk Michael Street on the back? Is that named after him?
Yeah, I'm Michael and he's Kirk, and we're next to each other. That's why they called it Kirk Michael Street.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Anyway, we're talking about boxing. Yeah.
What do you find the benefits are to the children and young people that join the boxing club? Like, what do you see? What changes do you see happen to them?
Well, start off with they've got something to do. Like I said, round here, for example, we used to have the community club. We used to have things. We used to go every six holiday. Used to have to go out and go on trips. It don't happen no more. Things are taken away now from the youth.
Yeah.
And getting involved in something like this gets them away from the gangs, gets them away from wanting to go out and cause trouble on the street.
Yeah.
And when they come here and they're made to feel welcome, and they're part of something, it gives them something to concentrate on. So really just uplifts people and just wants them to be a part and involved in something rather than sitting there. Knife crime's a big problem. Knife crime is a huge problem. Gangs are a huge problem. So getting involved in something like this gives them a distraction and something to focus on later on in life. And who knows, they may go up and go into the Olympics from it. You have to start somewhere. I mean, in any sport.
Brian, I just want to ask you, did you grow up in this area?
33 years I've lived around here, yeah.
Do you think there were more activities for young people back in the day?
Certainly. There's nothing no more right here. There's nothing. That's what I said, down the road we used to have the community centre.
Yeah.
On the 60s holiday we'd go on trips, we'd play ping pong with. It don't happen no more. It don't happen. So bringing something like boxing into the area gives someone something to do.
Yeah. Coming over, we're talking about the area. Is there enough for young people to do in the area? No comment. I feel that is there. Andrew?
Do you spar with any other boxing clubs then? Do you organise like competitions sometimes with? Do you have any rivals as well? That is quite. I don't know.
Not so much rivals. We do have other boxing clubs that we get involved with. Like for example, Spotlight. They're a local boxing club to us. We do a lot of sparring. We do have clubs coming down here.
Do you want one?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, you're working.
I'm getting ready for a fight. So we do have other clubs coming down here and getting involved and sparring with us. We do go to other clubs and we do spar with them, all in a safe environment and all very controlled. It takes you back to earlier when you said is boxing dangerous. It's very controlled. And as soon as someone getting out of hand, it's up to the coach to step in and turn around and say, let's bring that down a bit. And it does work. It does work. I've been boxing now for 9 months. I've got a fight coming up in November. For my first white collar fight, I'm going to be taking on in a big arena, loads of fans. I'm getting ready for that, and it's just it really has changed my life, to be honest. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I kind of wonder. I don't know if people. I'm not comparing it, by the way, to public flogging. Sorry. No, because I'm just thinking, because I have never been to a fight, like, in an arena, but I wonder whether that's something that could happen in like a public space. Would people come and watch in like, okay, hey, here's an event, these people are fighting, but actually, these two, whatever, fighters, they come from they've trained, and this is their craft. And I wonder whether it's possible to take things like that out of I don't know, the designated area of the fighting ring and out to the open. And the reason why I said flogging, I could have probably used more drastic words, because sometimes
like a public execution or something like that.
Where people come because it's like it's sensational in a way, because there's somebody being beaten up or whatever. Okay, if it's an execution, it's not so good, but I think we've got that kind of, maybe people have got that kind of fascination with things which are because there's because community events, for instance, like the one kind of over there. Would you do like a fight there? Is that inappropriate? Is like boxing inappropriate in some context?
Okay, would you put to a fight as a community event? Would you fight Spotlight and beat the crap out of the Spotlight kids as a live event?
It would be in a controlled environment. It wouldn't be on the street as in sort of a spectacle where everyone would sort of gather around the street, because it has to be controlled by coaches, it has to be set up properly, and it has to be safe. Foremost, it has to be safe. So when we go to, for example, in amateur boxing, you do home shows. So a club will set up a show. For example, the church. Now, Aberfeldy would set up a home show in the church. We would invite other clubs down. And we'd also sell tickets for members of the public to come and watch this show, and obviously people putting on what they've been working on for so long. So it wouldn't exactly be on the street, because it has to be controlled in a controlled environment with paramedics, staff, coaches, everyone there managing it. It'd be in a gym or in a venue.
But the smacking each other element would still be there.
100%.
Okay, right. Okay, right. I mean, where are we going to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about public spectacles of violence, controlled violence? Do we want to talk about activities for young people? Because you're saying that there's less activities now for young people. Do we want to talk?
It's still partially related to boxing, but I was wondering, how do you reach out to new people? Is it just that they walk by, or do you actively go and try and recruit new? Yeah.
It varies ways. Flyers. I personally go around to schools, handing out flyers, going into schools, getting their attention that way. Obviously, we've got a website, so people come across us on the website and then bring their child down. Events like this and going over where there's a bit of exhibition down the road, people are interested. So when they see me with the stuff on, they come over and say, well, I've got a child at 13 years of age. Do you offer this age group? And what do you do? What are the days? So we tend to do a lot of flyering, a lot of website, sort of getting our name out there, advertising for websites. And when you go to competitions, it's word of mouth. So the more you get yourself out there, it's, little Aberfeldy club. Okay, well, now we're known, and you start pushing on that way. And then people want to bring their kids down and get involved.
What is the reputation of Aberfeldy? Obviously, that's our club, so I just want to know...
The reputation of the club or Aberfeldy?
Yeah. Well, either, really, actually. But I'm probably more the club I'm interested in.
It's a good club.
Yeah.
It's a new club. Since 2020, we've been around since 2020. It's a new club coming up and coming, and it's a very friendly environment where people can come and learn and not be judged. One of my fears was when I got into boxing, I've always wanted to get into boxing. My fear was I'd be judged. I couldn't box.
Yeah.
I was worried I'd go down there, oh, you're rubbish, you're not. It wasn't like that. And I wished I got into it 15 years ago. So I got into the age of 32, I'm 33 now. I wish I got into it sooner, because it is just a very welcoming community, boxing in general. And Aberfeldy.
Okay, well that's an interesting point. The fear of judgment was a big barrier. I mean, maybe that's the case for other things as well. Maybe that's the case for people joining Talkaoke. They're worried about being judged. I don't know. Is that a general sort of barrier for people? This kind of concern about what will people think of me if I get involved in this pop-up talk show?
I used to care about that, but I just don't anymore. What people think about me doing Talkaoke. No, but I'm interested in this, in the kind of spectacle of the fight, or like, I'm stronger than you, or I've got better things to say. Because whenever we work with young people, I think social media just kind of comes up, and I think sometimes there is no safeguards, there is no social media paramedics to kind of like help us. Like, oh shit, this young person is like really taking criticism really badly, and also this is a really bad form of criticism. You know, that you can't really get.
So what you're saying really is, as well as paramedics, like looking after people's physical health, if someone gets battered on social media,
because you
who's there to actually look after them?
Yeah, because I think you mentioned an important thing, which is like the spectacle of violence. And I think, if it's in the physical world, if it's in a kind of controlled environment, it's different. Rather than on social media, where anyone can be like the judge, and people do kind of apply, in my opinion, stupid criteria of what's successful, what's not successful. I mean, I wonder what this person with chairs.
Come and have a just. I know you're passing. It looks like you're taking some chairs somewhere. You're moving. Is that what's going on? So
what's Chad Valley? What's this game?
Is that the goldfish coming in there? Anyway, we're just at the moment we're talking about Aberfeldy Boxing Club. We're talking about activities for young people. We're talking about interesting point from Brian. He would have got involved in boxing like 20 years ago, but it's also that fear of being judged. Of like, am I good enough actually to be in the club? Am I good, and we're just investigating that, and also this idea that when you're online, social media can be a harsh place where actually people are judging you there. So that's what we're talking about at the moment, really. Does that prevent people from getting involved in activities, this fear of being judged?
I've been just walking here.
Grab the mic. Brian, can you hold the mic, because he's holding the chairs?
Just walking with my chairs. Look, you've made me feel welcome already. You know what? It means a sense of community. You know what? It's like, I think we've gone
we've gone back in time. Look, you've got a boxing gym, you've got you Talkaoke people.
Yeah.
It's a place to connect people, and there's not many places like that now.
Yeah.
You know, places are run down. You know, people are scared. There's a massive stigma. It's best to stay in your own comfort zone, and it's hard because there's no one else doing the groundwork.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see that, because that's how, you know, that's what we're moving forward to. But you know, we need to start going back into like time and think, you know, where was society engaged? You know, what's happened?
So you think we actually need to go back in time?
Yeah, I think
because we've gone a bit wrong. We've taken a wrong turning, so to speak.
We've got too comfortable. You know, technology. You know, like sitting at home watching TV, iPads.
Yeah.
You know, Netflix. You know, COVID's just happened.
Yeah.
All these mad things are going on. You know what it is, and it's just made us feel that, you know, it is like we don't want to come out and face the true things in the world.
Yeah.
If you see someone that's homeless and they're struggling, you're oblivious to it. You walk right past it.
Yeah.
You know what it is, because
you're in your own bubble in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. So why is that? Why have we become so desensitized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, really good question. I'm going to hit the button. Yeah.
I thought that might make me float. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a good point.
Thank you, Mike.
Come back when you've dropped off the chairs. We'll still be going, I'm sure.
Top man. He's fighting.
Yeah, we heard about this. Yeah. But you.
It's a good way to promote. You know, it's nice to encourage someone locally.
Yeah, I mean, how much of the build-up is actually like a mental build-up rather than a physical? Obviously, you're doing your training, but do you need to psychologically prepare for this?
Yeah, I'm a very confident person in general, but you do have to psychologically compare. You have to get yourself into a mentality of you have to manifest. I'm going to win. You have to just manifest.
What does that mean?
You literally visualize of you winning. There's no chance I'm going to lose. I'm going in there to do. My family and friends are going to be there. I can't let myself down. And you visualize yourself being that.
Visualizing. Being
success,
the winner, being the
being
victor.
victorious.
Being
victorious.
He's going to be victorious.
Yeah, going to be victorious.
On the ring girls.
You're going to be holding up the round numbers, Okay.
Yeah, under chairs.
Okay, right. Okay, we look forward to that. Don't forget to take some photos. Put it on Instagram. Okay, where are we going to go with this? There's I think a lot of things coming up.
Yeah. No,
do you visualize success?
I think if I visualized, if I knew that my parents are sitting in the audience and they're watching me do performance, be it they've never been to see Talkaoke, they just wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't get it, but equally I haven't tried. But when they have seen me perform, and if like maybe in theatre shows or something like that, then if I thought about my mum sitting there going, I must make her proud, I'd literally just not even come out. I just need to like block my mum out and my dad, just like I'm just doing it to the people of room of strangers, nobody knows, so whatever happens in the show
would be better in a way.
I just wouldn't want that kind of emotional burden of like, am I disappointing my parents? I just can't. And the second thing is, hello. Are you upstairs? Oh yeah, you could. Oh, cool. Yeah, see you on the way. Out of
back,
school,
but I was actually supposed to be a kid session, so maybe I should leave the lagers. But let's get these young people around. Yes, that's you. We're talking about success. Do you visualize success? Brian is just about to do a boxing match, and he's visualizing his parents being ringside, and he's like, "Yes, I did it for you," but. For Margot, that's actually a turn off. That's actually, that would be a nightmare. So,
No, I think there are things that I do for myself, and some things that my parents don't need to get involved in. They don't need to know. They're literally two separate worlds. Let's keep it separate.
Come to Talkaoke.
Sorry. So I'm going to go on something completely different, but it was partly on what the man with the chairs was saying. That I was quite interested in what he was saying about communities and about like how we need to go backwards. But I actually think slightly differently. I think we need to reevaluate and go forwards, but think about how we come back together as a community. Because I think back in the old days and lots of other cultures, they still have a lot of community and coming together and living together, and actually we have separated, and then also this causes depression and anxiety and all these things, and actually it would be really good to find new ways of coming together as a community, and I think Talkaoke is a brilliant example of how to do it.
One of the ways to do it. It might be one of the ways, depends who's in the middle, whether they're friendly or not, I suppose.
Can you be more friendly? I mean, are there different degrees of friendliness?
I think so, Okay, so it's also about new ways. Is Talkaoke the only way? Are there other ways too? Are there other ways? Obviously, there's the boxing. Do we need new ways to bring people together? Is it about just going back to the old ways on this side? What do people think?
I think we're in a position where we probably felt we could be more self-sufficient because of technology. And we're realising now that actually it doesn't work that way, and there's an element of you know, coming together is actually really important. And so you should leave your screen and you should go outside. And I think maybe we do need to be more proactive. For example, you know, joining a boxing club or a local community centre, and we need to be more proactive in looking after ourselves in that way, and not just, you know, thinking that we will be able to get by from our computer screen.
Okay, so it's about being proactive. Do we need to improve the community spirit? Is there enough ways of getting people together? That's what we're talking about. Any views on it? Come and have a seat. I'll give you a round of applause. We've got Roy, we've got Brian, we've got Ella, we've got Laura, we've got Margot and Mikey. What's your name?
Nias.
What's it?
Nias.
Nias. What do you think? Do you think, because one person said we need to go back in time so we've got more community. Laura's saying we actually need to move forward and come up with new ways of getting community together. Have you got any views on it? Do you think that there's enough community spirit in this area?
Yeah, like if you look around, there's like a lot of colours and stuff.
Yeah, so there's a lot of diversity.
A lot of diversity, so it brings people together.
Yeah, so people are coming to you. You're a bit more positive about it.
Yeah.
But are people spending too much time on screens and on their computer games and stuff like that, and not getting out enough?
Yeah, we need to build like more stuff around the community that brings people outside. So, like football pitches and stuff like that, like parks for little kids and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Like, I know they're building stuff like down there.
Yeah.
But we need a bit more like around.
Yeah, a bit more right here, right in the zone. Yeah.
Can I ask what would bring you outside more, or maybe you do go outside a lot? But what is it that you like to do, kind of outside of school or in your own time?
What brings you out of the built environment into the outdoors?
Just going out playing football.
Playing football. So football's the thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you play for a team?
Nah.
Would you like to play?
Not good enough for a team.
You're not good enough. Yeah, you're always good enough, says yes.
Always good enough.
Are you, I mean, is there such a thing as not good enough?
No, no such thing, you know that. Commit yourself, put yourself involved, and just keep, you're good enough.
Yeah.
You're good enough. Yeah.
Or boxing, or that thing down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother goes there.
Yeah, I mean, Brian was saying that he joined pretty recently, like a year ago, but he wished he joined earlier, but he always felt he wasn't good enough. And then he realised that actually there's no such thing as not good enough. It's just about getting involved. Yeah. So maybe it's the same with football. I don't know. You'd say?
It definitely is. It's exactly the same thing. Just apply yourself to anything and you'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be accepted in anything.
Yeah.
You just got to throw yourself in.
You'll be part of it.
You've got to throw yourself in.
So that is maybe you should get involved in the team. It's up to you, obviously. But
I mean, I do wonder about this whole kind of like moving away from the screens. Is it possible? Oh, we've got to go.
Okay.
But do you think it's possible to move away from the screen?
Thank you, Nias. Come back later on with the kids. If you're picking up some younger kids. Okay. We'll see you next time. We're here until 8 o'clock. Anyway, thank you very much. Thanks for getting involved. Thanks for giving your input. What was your point?
Yeah, no, my point was just the question, like whether it is possible. Are we just too addicted to screens? Because, you know, everything is technology. Like I was trying to book an appointment with my doctor. The system is still useless as it was, but it's digital. It's just so ingrained in our lives. Like, you know, social media may be really bad and mindless, but I'm still scrolling. Like I'm talking about on Talkaoke, but I'm still scrolling on stupid Instagram.
So
so I think
get away from the
should we be all treated for addiction?
Are we addicted? What's that?
We certainly are. Yeah, certainly are addicted to social media and technology, and we spend most of our time on it. To be honest. One of the bad things I constantly do is, when I'm bored at home, I would just sit there and flick through my phone. And when I was younger, you didn't have that option. You know, you had to sit there and socialise and go outside and play curbsies with your friends. You know, you don't get that no more.
Yeah. Are you addicted to social media? That's what we're talking about.
You have to bounce off the curb and catch it.
No. Yeah.
Literally on this road, hopefully bounce back.
All right. So we're talking about addictions. We're talking about. We're talking about getting the community outside. We're talking about new ways of connecting people. Do we really need new ways? Because I think everyone's coming up with a lot of old ways that seem to be working. Andrew?
I know, I just kind of want to talk about the screen thing.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I'm a bit of a gamer, but
what's your favourite game?
No.
Call of Duty?
No, I'm trying to think now. I haven't gamed for a while, but I used to play a lot of a game called League of Legends, which is kind of like... Yeah.
Oh, you know.
But what we normally, why I liked playing it is because I'm always playing with my friends.
Yeah.
Even though it's in front of the screen, normally, all 5 of us would bring like our laptop to a house, and then we just game together. So we still look at the screen,
but it's a social event.
It's a social event in the sense that
I mean, does that make it worse, or does it make it okay to look at?
I think it makes us less well. We're still quite nerdy. I think it's less nerdy in the sense that we're not in our home. Yeah. But I feel like it's more the fun of being together rather than like actually playing the game. So I think you can still.
Could you do a real life League of Legends? What do they do?
I mean, like back in those days. I mean, 15 years ago, when it's harder to connect to the internet. Back in school, I remember there's like 15 of us. I used to go to boarding school. 15 of us. We're all in a room, and we all connect to play Counter-Strike, which is like a shooting game.
Right.
But I think maybe just. What if we just ban internet so everyone can just
ban the internet? Should we ban the internet? That's strong. I'll come to you in a second.
My question would be: were you playing video games because there was kind of nothing else to do? You know, would you have rather have gone outside and done something else if it was as easy as just turning on your game console or your computer?
Can we get involved in this? Give us 2 minutes, and I know you're getting the takeaway, but this is a crucial conversation we're having right now. We're talking about, is community kind of dying? Are people not getting out enough? We've got Andrew playing computer games. He's saying it's social because they're playing together, but are people on their screens too much and not getting together enough? And then there's a point from Laura, which is like, do we need new ways to get people out and talking to each other and stuff like that? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Any thoughts on that? We have got Andrew, we've got Roy, we've got Brian, we've got Ella, we've got Laura, we've got Margot. I'm Mikey.
Yeah, I'm Tom. I think that in my experience, it's like working class people have more of a sense of community than say your middle class people or upper class people because we rely on each other more, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, how does that pan out though? And is that still happening now? Because we've had lockdown, we've had like, you know, people hiding away. We've got, as people have said, we've got Netflix and computers. Is it really still happening? There was a comment from a guy called Shaz, that's gone now, who was kind of saying we need to go back. And then Andrew's even said maybe we should ban the internet so that people get together more. Have you got any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it's a generational thing about the internet and phones and what have you, because I would consider it rude to be out with people and them to be on their phone when we're having a conversation. But other young people don't think that, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I'm old-fashioned in that sense.
Yeah. Brian's on his phone now. Yeah.
Oh, he's got an excuse.
Don't think of it as rude. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm a bit old-fashioned in that view, and I should change my view.
Okay. All right. So, but you don't think it's about banning it or just saying no, you can't use your phone when you're out on the street, when you're out in public? Should we actually institute these rules? What is going forward with this? What is going back? Margot?
It's weird, like I sometimes look at my phone when I just don't want to talk to people because it's like, you know, you're so busy every day and then you just look at your phone and just forget about it. So it's like a safe space. That's what I would say about phones. But I still think we should all be treated for addiction to the internet. But I quite like the idea of like banning the internet. Just like cancel internet for a week, see what happens. See what happens.
Okay. Okay. What's that?
We don't want that.
You don't want to ban the internet?
No.
Well, I mean, not even for an hour. Like, have like
an hour is
thank
fine.
you, Tom.
No, but there's ways that the internet. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, but there's ways that the internet or your phone can facilitate togetherness that couldn't otherwise happen. Like I could call my mum right now and speak to her if I wanted to. But I couldn't go and see her.
We could get her involved in Talkaoke.
I could, yeah.
We can link her up. We've actually got the technology now.
If we're in a digital age now, which I think we just have to accept that we are. Why can't we focus on using that to bring people together instead of just saying, oh no, that just everyone's too addicted to it. Okay, you've got to get with it or you get left behind. So
I mean, is there a way to design phone platforms or whatever to make people a bit more look up and instead of like looking into their phones and as Margot does avoids conversation, could you actually use the phone to actually get people talking? Can we get, come and have a seat, can we get you on Insta, are you on Insta, TikTok? Okay.
So school there, weren't you?
So there's all big questions. Should we ban the internet? That's one of the things we're talking about. Come and get involved in this, yes? Come over if you want to. We're talking about whether
we should... Do you have social media?
Should we ban...
You're not on Instagram.
Yeah. Should we ban phones?
I guess my question is, if we're not up for banning the internet, should we be quite strict with ourselves about when we do use our devices? And equally be strict about when we're going out and making an effort to see people in public as well, or in person as well.
What's a good amount of time to spend on the phone?
I get an update every week from my phone, and it tells me how long I've been on the phone a day.
Oh right, okay. I thought you meant once a week was enough time.
I have to. No. Well, I wish. Yeah. No, I have to make a conscious effort. To be under 3 hours a day.
Under 3 hours a day.
That's mad, isn't it? 3 hours a day.
Yeah. So we're talking about what is a good amount of time to be on the internet. Should the internet be banned, or at least for an hour a day, maybe during meal times, or something like that? All right, okay. Give us a final thought, Brian. Thanks for getting this going. You really warmed it up.
Keep on going. It's an amazing thing that you're doing here. Bring the community together, and I love this whole idea of the whole aspect of bringing people to have a conversation.
I'm sure we'll talk before, but obviously good luck in the fight and the preparations.
Take care. Have a lovely day.
Thanks very much, and we'll keep this going. So we're talking about banning. We've got a new face as well, so tell us your name.
My name's Ian.
Ian, welcome Ian. We have got Andrew, we've got Roy, we've got Ella, we've got Laura, we've got Margot, sorry, so it's slightly... my name's Mikey, and everyone's welcome. There's no age limit here on the Talkaoke. Should we ban the internet? Should we have an hour a day off of the internet? These are some of the questions. Join in as and when you want to. Ian, are you going to come straight in?
Isn't that about self-will?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, why would they ban it? You just don't go on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it just down to the individual to say no?
It's like TV, isn't it? If you're offended by somebody or something, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the perfect solution.
Yeah, okay. So it's more about self-control. Should phones be banned? We'll give you a ring. We'll text you that question. Should phones be banned? That's what we're talking about? No? Okay, yeah. Andrew?
I would ask for advice because I find it really hard to use my willpower to stop doing something. Yeah. Especially.
I mean, you know, a couple of people have said the community has got worse. We've got worse at this. We've got worse at getting together. But has our willpower got worse?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's too many distractions. But I am going to have a go at being involved in my local community garden. I went to a first completely disorganized meeting last weekend. Yeah. And then, and now I'm going to be trying to find out what other people want from the garden. So I'm really kind of making a conscious effort to get involved. Yeah. It's not easy because I feel like my every day is filled with different initiatives.
What do you do in the community garden?
Don't know. I'm just gonna find out on Sunday. But yeah,
okay. You don't know yet. So it could be. I mean, what? Well, that's another. Anyone involved in the community garden around the table?
Strangely enough, yes. But to come back to our friend's point there. There are degrees of self-will. I probably couldn't give up smoking, although I have done for a certain amount of time. Yeah. I'm off the heroin now and the cocaine and the morphine. And that's good. I'm being facetious, obviously, but what I mean is that if you really think that something is bad, even I know that heroin will kill me if I ever did it. Then we don't kill each other, for instance. That's a kind of self-will. Okay, so although I'm exaggerating to make a point, I think we could survive without the internet. I think you could. You look like a man of willpower. Do you think our willpower's always been the same? Have we got less willpower these days to actually give up things like looking at the phone? I don't mean to hog it, but it was Oscar Wilde that said the only way to give in to temptation, that to beat a craving, is to give in to it. Right. Okay. That's definitely it's my favourite button today. Okay, so we're talking about willpower. Have people got enough willpower these days? Do we actually need to just go with who we are? That's the sort of thing. There's the thing about the gardening. Do you need a willpower to do gardening? You need a wheelbarrow, yes. That's definitely bang on there. I don't know what to do after that, to be honest. I've lost my will. The wheels come off. Okay, so where are we going to go from this? Do we want to talk about gardening? Do we want to talk about willpower? You're going to
Did you find the community gardening through Facebook or something like that? Because someone mentioned earlier that the internet can facilitate togetherness. And I think, for example, I've reached out to some local community groups. I've not followed it up, but that was kind of through Facebook, and I'm wondering if that's also something you connect
with a lot of community groups through Facebook, but I never actually go to any. But I do follow them all. Come and have a seat. We're talking about what have you got in there? Boxing gloves. Are you training an octopus? All right, where are we going with this conversation? What are we talking about? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So I got distracted by Kirk's giant bag.
But what I like that Kirk is doing that, he's redefining what a masculine look is, and I really rate that. So I'd like to talk about that. Yeah. Okay. In what way is he redefining it? Well, he's got a huge bag, which is like a handbag, but huge. So it's a big statement.
So it's like a man bag.
It's a man bag. It's a woman bag. It's a bit. It could. Well, so he tells us it could be anything really. Yeah. Could be dresses. I don't know. What's in your bag? No, I'm just saying. Like, you're making a big fashion statement, and I like your work.
Okay, well, some conversation over here, and I want to obviously take credit for it. What you're saying?
We're talking about the new development behind us and what that might do to the community as it is now.
The old faithful debate we always get back to.
It has been on Talkaoke before, for sure.
I don't want to. Let's have some news. These young ladies here could introduce a topic.
Okay. Is it time to come up with a new topic? Come and get involved in this. This is Talkaoke. We're talking about community. Is community dying? Is it actually improving? Is it the internet that's killing it off? Any thoughts on this?
This here?
What's that?
What about the people here or?
It's just for people around here. Yeah.
This country is so much now with people suffering after.
Yeah.
Everything go high.
Yeah.
People is government, they give you less money, but they take it more money. People suffering after.
Yes.
Bill going high.
Yeah.
Water going high.
Yeah.
The people suffering after. We are now we think so this one so much.
But my question is, obviously that is happening and that is a very big issue. Are people gonna help each other out with that? Are they actually gonna, get together and help each other out? I don't know quite how you're gonna do that with bills and money or electricity, but
this one the bill is helping the government. They give you less price, then is okay, but go high is by government pay less money. After you pay bill, electricity, telephone bill, then after there's not enough for this money.
Everything's going up quite a lot.
That's why the people is suffering a lot. Is the killing after.
Absolutely. Well, come and join in if you want to.
Thanks. You're very welcome.
We're here all afternoon, so come. We have got Andrew, we have got Roy, we have got Ian, we have got Ella, we've got Laura, and we've got Margot making a point.
No, but like I like what this man was saying about the electricity bills and going up. Obviously, it's not a good thing, and can we do something as a community? And when we were in Lancashire, there was a sticker there on.
Kemonachu. Bala.
And there was a sticker to say, join a mass protest on the 1st of October, don't pay your bills. And I'm like, this is part of community action.
Could it be
protest, let's not pay.
Connect the community. Should we be getting together to protest these things? Is that a way to get the community together?
The trouble is, it's the same as rent and things like that. If you refuse to pay a bill, you become immediately, you're breaking the law. And they can use that against you, and that's what you could do. And I wouldn't advocate this because it's using the capitalist system. But if groups of people get together and form kind of buying groups for electricity, and then bargain the price down as far as possible because of the nature of their size, that could be a possibility. But who sits around in the pub and discusses that?
I don't know, we're discussing it now. We're not in the pub. But it's exactly. Are we talking about it enough? What do you think? Cost of living crisis. Are we getting together enough? Do you think it's ridiculous? Well, this is ridiculous. Do you think we should stop paying the bills? Should we just say no? We've had enough.
Can we do that?
Can we do? Well, that's what we're asking. That's exactly what we're asking.
If we could, I would.
Yeah. I mean, it just means enough of us. Okay.
People that would do it.
You don't think there's enough people that would do it?
On your own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come and get involved in this. We've got Ella, we've got Laura, we've got Margot, we've got Andrew, we've got Roy, we have got Ian, we've got everyone who's anyone on Aberfeldy Street. We've got this man here who's going to come and get involved. What's your name? You're too chilled. Okay. Where are we going with this? We're talking about we're talking about getting together. Maybe getting together could actually be for a cause, like cutting down the electricity bills and the rent and the phone bill and all the other ones. Is that right?
You're sizzling.
Okay, that's
is it a hot seat?
I was like, what is it? Is the rain coming? Or? Anyway,
somebody's pouring. It's a drain. No, what I wanted to say, like for instance, like news from Poland, because I know that you just want to hear more what's happening in Poland. Thank you. No, but for instance, obviously we've got really high inflation. There's people complaining about electricity bills and all sorts of things, and a few other things. But the government said we just want people to get together and be proud of being Polish. So they have just invested a lot of money in making these like Poland-shaped benches.
Poland-shaped benches?
Yeah. To dispatch around towns in Poland, and people just queue up. There's a big kind of like terms of use document that you can read, and you can enjoy yourself on the bench. And it's a
bench.
It's a bench, but it's got like a Polish. It sits in like a kind of box which is shaped like Poland. So then when you're sitting there, the idea is not only that you get to connect with whoever's like brave enough to read their terms and conditions and sit there, but also you think about Poland. So you don't think about your bills. You just sit there feeling proud that you're Polish. That's quite a good technique, I think.
Okay, could we have a British bench? Would that work? A British bench?
So do you think that the shape of the furniture is really useful in helping you feel Polish, or do you think maybe doing some kind of cultural, specifically Polish activity might be more helpful in bringing people together and celebrate their kind of identity?
I mean, I think if there was something which was saying to me like, oh, this is a Polish something, I would probably try to go and support. But I think when you're a migrant and you come and live in this community, unless you see something specific, it can sometimes feel like a blob. I'll come to this community thing, but wait, I'm only part of this community because I happen to be able to afford rent in this area. I don't know who these people are. I'm working, 12 hours a day. But somehow, if you say, oh, it's a Polish thing, then I would, in the past, I've kind of, my situation has changed a little bit now, so I don't, so maybe I feel like I'm a bit more involved in community and through the work that I do as well. But in the past, when I was working in a cafe, just trying to. How's it going?
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh, okay.
I hope you're not too late though. But yeah, but in the past when I was working in a cafe and that's all I did, just like made money to survive, to pay my rent, and it really didn't matter to me that I lived in Hackney, South Woodford, South London. It really didn't make any difference whatsoever.
So you had no really
because
connection
I was just like,
to the
no connection. Just make money to survive. Just keep above the water level. That's it. So that kills the community.
It's that making money thing is actually stopping that sense of community because it's the bigger pressure.
Do you think that you need a connection to a specific area to feel part of the community then? Because I don't necessarily feel like that. I've always lived in England, for 6 months once when I lived in Paris, but like generally lived in England, but I've lived all over England, and I've always felt like I've tried to connect to communities there. That's just me, that's who I am, that's just what I do. I mean, I'm a community artist, so that's what I do, but I feel like I'm always trying to like build communities, put arts into communities, develop culture in communities, like that's part of what I do, but I don't feel like I necessarily have to, feel a part of the space or feel a connection to the space necessarily. That's just, obviously we're all different.
So how do
you don't necessarily have to.
One of the things we've been talking about is this approach. We heard about Brian feeling a little bit reluctant to get involved in the boxing club. It's also useful for us because are people going to come and approach us, or are they going to just be a bit too shy? So what happens in that approach? How do you sort of approach or get, when you do move to a new place, how do you first get involved?
Good point. There's all sorts of ways, isn't there? I think I'm certainly on all the community neighbourhood groups. So that's a good way of sort of like just being a part of your community online. And then because of my job, that's partly how I connect.
So you've got a kind of community-based job.
Yeah, I'll set up workshops, or I'll put on events, or and I live in a completely new area as well. Just
where is that?
So I actually live in Kent in Aberfeldy, which is a new development. So
I know it well, actually.
Like this, but on a huge scale. A whole city. And so part of my job there is developing the community, developing art. Well, mine and Ella's job, developing the arts, developing culture. So that involves a lot of meeting communities and working with them to sort of like develop a new, what is our culture, what is our arts, because we're all from different places, and we're developing a new identity together and being a community, in this new space. So so it's different in that regard. But for me, it's you can join the boxing club, or it can come through like having children at the school, or you can join another different club, whatever you're into. And if there isn't anything, maybe you can connect online, say start a book club, or but it takes guts to do that.
Or maybe what's the name of the game that you like to have a League of Legends? Have a League of Legends club or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. League of Legends. Well, there you go. Yep.
Can I just say that wonderful job you do. I go to different communities. I look after residents on building sites. What probably you're going through now, buildings. And there is a pride that you can take in seeing people develop their potential, seeing people blossom. Bringing out what they've already had and underestimated. And art is a good way of doing that. But if you had the magic bullet, there's so much of the working class that underestimates their, say, artistic skills, their oratory skills, their skills that we've got a guy in the club, the men's club that I belong to. And he's just wonderful. He knows everything about woodwork. And when he comes along, we do things like that, and it's just getting people to express themselves, because there's a lot of "it's not for me" attitude, and it's kind of arty-farty, or it's this kind of thing. If you could get the magic bullet to do that, then you'd be a millionaire.
Okay, so it's that magic bullet. Any thought? We've actually heard a lot about the boxing club today, and about it being a family business, and a family feel. But one of the interesting things we heard from Brian is that stepping through the door, people can often be, even Brian can be like reluctant because they think they're not good enough, it's not for me. It's not part. But how do you get people, you know, those shy people to actually go, actually, it's all right, it's all, grab the mic. Come on.
You caught me now.
Yeah.
We just talk them in. Anyone who's never boxed before can come in and we'll show them how to box. And they haven't got a box.
Just make them feel welcome.
Yeah, on the boxercise class.
Yeah.
So, we're just going to do some pads over there for Poplar Arca, so we don't.
That's like a demonstration.
Yeah, basically, getting a few people involved. So we've got an hour over there. There's 5 or 6 of us, so we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll
and
be
then we've
over
got a
there.
class here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good here last night. We had amateurs fighting last night. It was really good. Great night.
Yeah. We were up in Lancashire last night, so we didn't sit. But yes, don't start.
All your money? Did you fly back?
No, we drove back. It took us about 5 hours to get back. Anyway, we zigzagged back to London. Okay, all right. So there you go. That's the boxing club. They're off to do some work.
No, but I do think because, for instance, earlier on before we started the session, we had a lady here who was doing a lot of work about raising awareness, how to bring first aid. To bring first aid to somebody who got stabbed, and she says that she's got hands full of work all the time just because how many young people are involved in a knife crime, and she was saying how many different gangs there are. And I do wonder what you know, that is kind of location specific. I mean, that's like a polar opposite to like a nice side of being proud of where you're from, but you know. I would say maybe that some people do think that they do it because they're proud of their area.
Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. The knife crime. It is related as well, I think, to the boxing. I think we heard that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, because like you want. I think that idea of pride is an interesting one. I think the boxer man, Dan. The man who just Brian, sorry, I forgot. He was saying, like, you know, I want to make my parents proud as they watch the fight, but you know, what is this thing about making your area proud? What does it actually mean? If you're in a gang, are you, you know, you're tougher?
I mean, are people proud of Aberfeldy because they've got Talkaoke here? And anyway, I'm coming to you. Then come to you. No.
I was going to say that first aid is so empowering. I would worry about things like knife crime because things like that, if you say we're doing knife crime in this area, it just perpetuates the area that there must be not a knife crime in that area, then they're doing that, and you know, it's good and it's needed, but at the same time you have to be careful to perpetuate.
Does it perpetuate the sort of reputation of the area if you're banging on about knife crime all the time?
People have got, she's not banging on about it, it's a good idea, but at the same time people do have stereotypical images, especially in working class areas. I get that all the time, especially working in social housing, and people come from their nice homes in the sticks and say like, oh, you must have your work cut out with this lot around here. They're all druggies, single parent families and scroungers basically.
So there's a lot of looking down. There's a lot of looking down.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of looking down on the. I'm going to come to you in a second because Laura, you wanted to make a point there.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up on something else you said, but now it's gone.
Okay, well, what we can do, we've got a technique here. We just rewind a little bit, and we just we were talking about boxing. We were talking about knife crime. We were talking about making.
It was making the area proud. So I'm like. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, I don't really get this sense of like having to be proud of my area in terms of like I have to fight for it or whatever else. But then when you talk about like, I think a lot of people, especially young people, I think it is a young people thing because maybe I did feel when it was younger, like there's a sense of territory and a sense of like, you know, you're from this part or this part, or so I think like capturing that to an extent but putting it into something positive like what was his name again, Brian was saying, I think maybe is a great thing for young people particularly to latch onto, to sort of like, well, okay, there's this territorial thing, because knife crime is all about territory, right? I mean, a lot of it is about like gangs particularly, is like, this is our area, this is your area, and that kind of thing. So I think it's a good thing to sort of have like that idea of doing something slightly different that's more positive, like and and is controlled.
A different way to represent your area, or a different way, different thing to be proud about, positive about.
But I think this kind of sense of location is an important one, and I think now we're kind of seeing it a little bit on the kind of global scale. I mean, it's not that we are just seeing it now, but now it's in the news, the Ukrainian war and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just like, it's almost like taking all the good things out of being part of a club or a country and just making it all about, you know, we've got a bigger weapon than you, and, you know, we do democracy better than you. But I want to talk about scavengers. How about the royal family?
What are you saying? Well, are they scroungers, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're scroungers. Well, that's going to go down well, yeah.
Can I just say that? Can I just say that the idea of territory, especially on a minute scale as a postcode, is a perversion of what's really important, because I'm not proud from coming. I'm proud of being working class. That I'm not proud of coming from a particular area. I just happen to come from that particular. And the one word we're not used so far is internationalism, because at the end of the day, as a good socialist, if you don't include internationalism, then you end up becoming some kind of fascist, because eventually you get to think that you're better than other countries, and that's why that's what leads to the rise of fascism.
Okay, so
jumping back to the conversation about territories, I think that also links to kind of like ownership of an area. So is that like nowadays, I guess there's a lot of development going, a lot of public space being like taken over by kind of private developers. So a lot of times that kind of sense of like, I guess, community also lost by
who owns
who actually owns the space, who gets to you know, have a say or actually change, feeling a sense of you can change that area.
I mean, would you say, Andrew, that having more of a say in your area would actually give that sense of ownership or sense of pride or sense of identity?
Not even just the say, but also the feeling that you can act on it, I guess.
Okay, so it's very important then, participating in the makeup of your area, as far as you're concerned. Okay, that's a strong point. We've got something going on over here. What's happening over here? Is there?
Sorry.
Doing the Talkaoke. Obviously, doing Talkaoke is a great way of actually making this happen. But
what about that royal family, eh?
Yeah. What about the royal family? We haven't talked about it yet.
It was. I have to say, I'm not a royalist by any stretch of the imagination. I did feel that it's the end of an era. I've only known one monarch, and I don't know if it was the atmosphere that made me feel that the times had changed. In some respects, it's going backwards. There was no talk about republicanism. I don't even know if I'm a Republican. So I mean, and the dysfunctional family that probably led to her early death, even at an old age, because she could live forever probably. But there's a whole minefield in there if anybody wants to take that up.
Did the dysfunctionality of the royal family lead to an early death for the Queen? That's a big subject. Any thoughts on that? On this? Any thoughts on the royal?
I would ask one thing about the royal family. You said you're not really a royalist, but were you suggesting that despite that, on the day watching that ceremony, you felt I don't know, kind of affection for the family, or for perhaps not the family, but the fact that
Mm.
the country and also other countries were coming together in one moment to celebrate a
Is that how you felt, Roy?
Oh, good. How did I feel? Yeah, I think I did. I think like there's a lot of things that are going badly, and I don't think that necessarily a huge state funeral is particularly relevant or helpful to fix any of our issues. But I think seeing, if we remove the fact that it was a state funeral, seeing a lot of people come together and do an event very well, I think I felt positive about that. About
so you felt it was a positive thing about a country coming together.
Not just at one country though. I think there was
the whole world's coming together.
It was watched by a lot of people. I think whether it's a funeral or whatever it might be, I think if one event can generate that kind of interest, I don't think that is a bad thing.
Okay.
I think it's a very good subject, but I think we're also coming to the end of this little micro session.
There's a mini session, sort of testing the water. We will be back later on though.
At 6 o'clock.
In 2 hours' time.
Yeah, but I wonder whether there's time for final thoughts. Any footnotes?
I well believe there's time for final thoughts.
Yeah, there's always time for final thoughts. There's never not time for final thoughts. If there isn't time, we make time. Yeah.
That's what's going. I'm going to get my lager back out again.
Just put it on. Yeah. The session is over. The kids are out of school. But interesting point that you were just making about, it almost doesn't matter what the occasion is if people are coming together to do something.
I mean, a lot of the chat today has been about people coming together. So they said that about fascism.
You could say that about fascism.
Yeah. Okay. Did it bring the fascism?
No, I'm not. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
Fascist, I don't mind actually. I'm joking about fascists. I'm used to this.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. I mean, does it matter that maybe it does when it comes to like fascist parades?
I'm actually on my way to a black shirt reunion tonight. So bringing a lot of people back from the Third Reich to
going back in there,
good old knees up, So But I would say the thing about
hang on a second, Ian. Danny, we're just about to close down, so we're just the final thoughts and initial thoughts at the same time.
Work hard, play hard.
Okay.
Drink harder.
Okay. One of the things we're talking about is the funeral, the Queen's funeral and all that kind of stuff. Have you got a view on that?
I went there.
You went there, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
What did you think of it? What was the vibe?
I'm a royalist, so it was a very sombre occasion. We lost someone truly historic, part of our lives at the minute, and only to see what will come of that, and God save the King.
How do you feel about it now, sort of a few days later?
It's still affected, it's hit us, it's hit me.
Yeah.
Plus it's how we're gonna change, be weird through the change of the money, the currency. I mean, do
you think it's because one of the things is we're talking about right now as we're sort of wrapping up? Has it brought the country together? Has it brought the world together?
Well,
does it matter what actually brings people together or not? Is it a positive thing?
Numbers don't lie, and the crowd that turned out. Right there, Addy, how's it going? The crowd that turned out showed support, for her and the royal family itself, and this country needs a monarchy, really, and for us to survive, and just.
Can I ask? Sorry, why do we need a monarchy?
Because we do, and that we need a monarchy.
That's our identity, in a way.
Because a monarchy leads balance between politics and power.
Right. Okay.
So who's going to be in charge of the army if we ain't got the king?
Laura's gonna volunteer. How would you do it differently to the king? That's a good question. We are trying to wrap this up, but I just want to. How would you do it differently to the king? Yeah, Margot.
But I just wanted to ask because, like you say, it was like a momentous time in history, and you were there. But what do you feel? How do you feel about people protesting, saying that they are against monarchy, but holding like blank placards? Should they have been arrested and removed?
Well. Let them protest. It's only hot air at the end of the day. So live and let live. No one's going to listen to them. I ain't. But just people got a right to protest. It's in the Magna Carta, which is given us to stand our ground and rights, and the King has protected that. No, the Queen protected them rights for 70 years. And she's done a lot for the protesters, for people who are giving it the large on there, and
All right. Well, thanks for that, Danny. It's time for sit down for 2 seconds. We are going to just wrap this up. All right. Well, thanks for getting involved. Thanks for throwing your bit in there, and we're doing a final thought. So we're just going to wrap this up. If you want a bit more Talkaoke action, we'll be back again for a second session. 6 till 8. 6 till 8. 6 till 8. And we've got lagers as well. You've given it up. What have you got?
the memo.
You're doing sober September, October?
No, just giving up the drink.
Okay.
No, not the drink, but the lager. I'm on vodka.
Vodka. Okay. Well, we haven't got any vodka, but you can. We can bring one over. Come on and get involved in this. We're just about to wrap up. See you later. That's Danny. We've got Ella. We've got Laura. We've got Margot. We've got Andrew. We've got Roy. We've got Ian. What's your name? And come and get involved in this because we're just wrapping this up. I know you're over there. What are you doing? Something over there at the thingy?
Yeah, we are doing the tech for the sound.
Yeah. How's it going? Is it going okay?
Yeah, it's going great. So artists are performing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Any particular highlights over there that you've seen?
Not yet. So
yeah.
It's going great so far.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
And we're just wrapping up here, but one of the things we're talking about, we're just getting final thoughts. I want a final thought from you before you go. But we're talking about how do you get the community together? That's the main sort of thrust of this conversation. Have you got any tips just as a final stroke initial?
Well, I would say just go out and meet people.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this stuff for around 1 year now.
Yeah.
And before I didn't thought I'm gonna do it, so I met a guy called Rodney through skateboarding.
Yeah, we know Rodney, yeah.
So he worked with us at Papua Union, and he also worked as a creative youth worker at Spotlight as well.
Yeah.
So we met through skateboarding.
Okay, yeah.
And he bring me in.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy now.
Okay, that's amazing. That's fantastic. We know Rodney, and we know all about his skateboarding manoeuvres as well.
So I'm just going.
Say hi to Rodney. Is Rodney over there now?
He's not working today. He's working at the Spotlight.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, well that's good. So just get out there, meet people, all that kind of stuff. Akeem, I'm sure we'll see you either here or over at Popular Union because
share your interest basically. Because we met through skateboard and I shared. Okay, look, I want to work with community, and I did work before.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm already working. So if you're interested, I can. Bring you in, and I said, no problem.
And it was that easy.
So that was that easy.
So it is really important to get out there and meet people and make friends, and then that's how you.
I think this is the best way. Or you can just maybe go through the education and do that stuff. But I think this is the longer process.
Yeah, this way's more fun, isn't it? Okay, let's get thank you, Akeem. We're going to get final thoughts now, but I'm sure we'll see you soon. Let's get a final thought. Who wants to go first? Ella, Laura?
Do you have a final thought?
Final thought?
I'm not a royalist.
You're not a royalist?
That's my final thought.
You might, yeah.
Hashtag me too. My final thought is, if the state funeral was ostensibly something to bring people together, why were all the homeless people shipped out for the queue?
All right.
Is there a mic drop or shall I drop one?
That could be a... Yeah, okay. Final thought, Laura?
I can't think
can't be that. Can't be that, okay. Okay, well, we'll see you soon, maybe down in Aberfeldy. I find myself down there quite a lot. That's where I'm from. That's where I am from Gravesend. From Thong Lane. Yes, that's a mic drop again. I wasn't born on Thong Lane, but I did grow up there. I spent the ages of 1 to 18 there. Anyway, my formative years, exactly.
Oh, sorry, we've got to rush off.
Okay, well, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. We'll give you a round of applause and a cheer and an air horn. Let's get some final thoughts on this side. Ian, have you got a final thought?
Oh no, you go first.
So.
Do you want a lager as well?
Oh, I'd have a lager,
You inspired the lagers, and
yes, I did.
Then we didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that was my final thought. Where's the lager? Now, my final thought is a bit perhaps profound, and that's if you look at the Elizabethan age.
Yeah. I mean Elizabeth II Elizabethan age. Yeah.
It spans from just after the war. To obviously now. So. That's when we had the change from the camaraderie and the the fellowship of the Second World War. And via Thatcher and people like that, we've changed into a greedy society. So we've gone from that community-minded stuff where people had nothing, they clubbed together to do things. and we've gone into a society that looks after number one. Greed is good again, apparently. So, that is the Elizabethan age, and that's the effect it's had on me. It's encapsulated.
Have you become more greedy over that time?
I probably have. I do covet consumerism. I do like nice things, which isn't bad in itself, but it shouldn't be the value of my life, should it?
Okay, let's get some final thoughts. This is your final thought?
My final thought is a tricky time to be a king or a queen or a human being, just in general.
King, queen, or human being.
But combining world, and lagers. Somebody sent me today a photo of a 6-pack of lagers in plastic kind of, the kind of plastic holds them together wrapping, which was blue and yellow, and it says something, every can helps to help Ukraine. And I thought that was just such a brilliant kind of
that's a good way to help Ukraine, isn't it?
It's really just get smashed and donate towards a drone or something.
As well, really.
But it was just like I think you wouldn't have seen that back in the day, but you see it now. It's okay to sell patriotism, internationalism, consumerism, and greed, and convenience, and alcohol, and addiction, all in one. That's 2022.
Okay. That's another mic drop.
That's something.
Yeah.
Nice socks, by the way.
Yeah. Final thought, Andrew?
I think something more cheerful, I guess. I think we should just...
I don't know how you could get more cheerful than that. Yeah.
But I think like the whole... I'm not a royalist, but in terms of the queue thing, I think everyone should just form a queue from now on. And just connect.
Britain has shown itself to be the world leader in queues. Maybe have you got like a queuing system that can go around?
It could potentially. It's a straight line.
Smithfield's Market. Yeah.
In Smithfield Market, you can definitely form a line.
Have you got a queue space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, you've had your final thought. Too bad. Roy, final thought?
I feel like a lot of people are saying that there's less community than what there might have been before, but I feel like people are quite willing to get engaged, so maybe it does just take a few people to be a bit more proactive with it, and this is quite a good start, I hope.
Okay. I mean, do we really know what life was like back then? Was there more camaraderie? Did they have, like, sell beers for different causes in the right cut? And they may well have done that back in the Second World War. Do we really know? And are we actually getting worse? Are we going backwards? These are all questions for the next session.
Yeah, they're for next session, but I do wonder whether, if we're talking about what to put in the square, I mean, should we just go for something generic that appeals to all, this generic sense of community, or should we put in something with the Queen? Why not? Hello.
Should we be...
Are you a royalist?
We're just about to close the whole thing down, actually, but...
I know that bloke couldn't sell it.
But... I can, the way Talkaoke works, I can't, not give you a go of the microphone, but I have to just sum up the entire session. We talked about the boxing club, we talked about sense of community. Are we getting less of a sense of community? Are people less reluctant to actually come out, or more reluctant, to actually come out and actually do things out in public? Is it down to the internet? Is it down to screens, TV? Should we ban the internet? Then we talked about, just people getting out there, efforts to kind of be part of the community. What did we talk about after that? And then we talked about the Queen for a little bit, and that's it really. Have you got any thoughts on any of those subjects?
Well, I think we need a republic very, very soon.
Yeah.
Monarchies cost too much money.
Yeah.
They've got between 27 and 67 billion.
Yeah.
So why are we paying for their funeral? Answers on a postcard.
Okay, there's a mic drop thing there. There's a definite mic drop going on there. Big one there, big question maybe for the next session. We've got, in a way, most of the people, to be honest, you're in the majority on this Talkaoke table, but not on the street, I don't think. Which is interesting in itself. We're going to end it there, I think. I feel like this is the right theme music for this. thanks everyone for joining, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Well done, Mikey, in the middle, fighting your state of zombification. And thanks to everybody who came along. Nice one.